No, I mean it though. You deserve the thanks. Not only did you give me somewhere warm and safe to sleep at night, but you helped me find my job. And yeah, maybe I'm a natural at it. At least that's what they tell me. But I wouldn't have even known to look if it wasn't for you. I owe you. I owe you so much, and I will repay you. Maybe not, with money. It doesn't seem like you need that. And I want to find my own place so that you're not burdened by me being here, you know? If there's one thing I've learned about this human world, it's that you need money. Money is almost as important to your life as air or water. You need it to survive. So, if I am here, you are spending more of your money getting the resources to care for me. And as much as I appreciate that, I can care for myself. And I will, and I will as soon as I find another place. And until then, I will be paying for everything myself. No, it's only right. You are doing so much work just to help a stranger who admittedly needed a little bit of help. But you didn't have any obligation. Hell, I'm not even a human. I'm an orc, and you were so willing to help. You can try to turn away my help, but I won't take no for an answer, and I am very certain I am far more stubborn than you are. So, why don't we just skip to the end and do things my way, and I pay for my own resources? Or at least pay you for them. It's only fair. It's only right. I will not. And I'm sure that you do, because you've been so willing to help without even bothering to ask what I could do for you, despite the fact that I have offered. You took on the burden of providing for me, a stranger, someone who's only been in this city, someone who's only been on this part of the continent for a couple of weeks. No, I know there are, families of orcs who are born in these, right, these big cities, or, I don't really, know. I don't. But I am from far away. I'm not just a different species, I come from an entirely different culture. There it is expected that if you want something, you just take it. And if you can't take it, you don't deserve it. There's no concept of money. Not really. I mean, we generally understand you can get others to do things for you if you offer them money, but we have no use for it. Money doesn't keep you warm in the dead of winter when you need fur piled around you. Money doesn't keep you dry in the middle of spring when the rain begins to pour. Oh, it does rain out there, not often, but when it does, it is disastrous. Have you ever heard of a flash flood? Have you ever seen one with your own eyes, not just heard stories? Once, when I was very young, we had a very bad storm. And that storm was so severe, it carried entire tents downhill, washed them away, gone, destroyed. Now, storms like that don't happen every year, but they do happen often enough that you have got to have enough supplies, enough dry supplies, to replace that. Well, if your neighbor has them and you don't, you take them. That's the way it works. You take from anyone and everyone because you need, and the strongest survive. That is the way of things there. So I'm not just a new species here. Not even new, but a different. I mean, it's not like there's a lot of orcs here. There's very few of us. Very few. I've seen a handful. No, and no one I've been able to talk to has heard anything about them. I'm beginning to worry they never made it this far, and well, I really hope that's not the case. Because the plan was to start a new life together, have our own small clan, our own small tribe, and look out for each other. Well, kind of like how you're looking out for me right now. You let me have a safe and warm place to sleep. You let me have food to eat and water to drink. Yes, but you had to pay for those things. All of them. And I will now repay you because I'm able to. You are not family the way they are. They are blood. We are bound together. And as much as I appreciate everything you have done, if they are not here, I will need to save up so that I can go find them with the resources of the human world at my fingertips. That is what will happen if I don't find them in this city. So, that is my focus, finding my family. And I can't do that if I am bound by my oath to repay someone who is not follow, someone who is staying here. I can't do both. So, I am going to do everything I can to repay you for everything you have done. And if I can't find word of them by then, I will be leaving. Why would you go with me? You don't even know me. Well, okay, you're right, that's not fair. You do. To a point. We've had lots of conversations over the past week. We have, that is very much true. But there is still a lot about my life out there you don't know. And you may judge me for, and you may be right to judge me for, and I don't want to bring up any of that baggage while I am trying to find a place of my own. Well, it would be simple if I could just go find a plot of land and say this is mine and then just live there, but the rules here are different. I did not realize how many rules there are. Well, especially in comparison to back home. If I want a place to sleep, I take it. But here you do that, you will be thrown in prison, and I've been to prison once, and I will not go back. So I will follow these rules, even if they are dumb. Even if I do not like them, even if I do not agree with them, I will follow. And I will still do everything I can to find my family. Because I need to. Because I promised them. Because I need them. You have grown to know me, but you will likely never know me as they do. They are all that's good from my old life. It's just them and me. And bad memories. And that was the plan, right? We come out here, we start a new life, we help each other, we support each other, and we survive, we thrive. And everything that happened back there, everything that was supposed to be, was meant to be, we don't need to worry about anymore. Because we're not in that world anymore. We got out. Only I'm beginning to think maybe they didn't. Well, let's be very, very honest. It's very obvious when an orc walks into this town who's not from a human settlement or, I mean, honestly, a civilized settlement. They can make all of that talk about how barbaric it is to be deceptive, to be underhanded, to be dishonorable. But at least there are rules. I have spent many years growing up sleeping in the mud at night. That's not exactly warm or comfortable. It's horrible. And I say that as an orc. We are a tough and hardy people. And I hated every single minute of it. And here, well, I did notice there are a few, but please believe me when I say a few is such a step up from what I have been used to. I live better now without even having my own place than most of our leaders could ever dream to. And yet they tell us that we are privileged to do as we want. Well, okay, yes, there are less rules. We can do what we want, but the consequences of that, they are so harsh. And it's not the strongest who have to deal with those consequences. They rise to the top. It's the weakest, the youngest, those without family to help keep them safe. They are mercilessly taken advantage of, taken from, have everything taken from them. Because that is what they are about. Take, and care only about yourself. You're right, and I do keep going in circles about this, and I'm sorry, I'm not good at talking through things. It's cultural difference. Yeah, I'm used to punching my problems. This is not a problem I can punch. So, it's very different. It's very difficult. Well, I didn't expect it would be. You know, I thought I come out here and I would meet them here and basically, yes, a happy ending to our story, and it's not that at all. And I cannot punch the fact that it is not a happy ending. I can try. I have tried. Well, nothing serious. I just got into a fight at the bar. It was, well, the guards were never called. It was absolutely okay. It was no big deal. And nobody had to go to the healer, so, everything's fine. No, of course not. No one wanted to stop me after I punched that guy in the face, so I kind of just left and walked around for a long time to make sure no one was following me, and I. Look, the point I'm trying to make here is I cannot punch this problem, and. No, you've already given me so much help. I am going to repay you for your. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm letting you know what my plan is so that you understand, so that because you helped me. You helped me when you didn't have to, and I will absolutely repay that favor. You have my word. I was not lying. Well, maybe there's a couple ways we could work on repaying that favor. I can think of a couple. I'm pretty sure you can as well. But either way, I do need to make plans for what I'm going to be doing going forward. So, once I've repaid you, once I have stored up enough to get some basic equipment, I can be on my way. I will be on my way, and I will go find them. You have every right to do that if you choose. Hell, I would even welcome the companionship, the company. But I will repay you first, and I will pay my own way from here on out. This is one thing I will not change my mind on. I appreciate everything you've done. I do, and I very much appreciate your willingness to help me look for my family, especially considering you barely know me. I suspect maybe there are some ulterior motives there. Well, even if not, I'd be glad to have you along just for the conversation, just to help me get a better understanding of this human world I'm in now. Because I'm going to need that. And if you do that, I will repay you for that. I'm willing to pay in money or in services. You just let me know how you'd prefer to be paid. I'm sure we can come to some kind of arrangement. Either way, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help you with however you like to be repaid. Well, that is definitely an idea. You know, all of this work has really worked up an appetite, and I think that I could really go for a nice, warm piece of meat. No, I'm not talking about dinner. So, what do you say? I'm so very hungry, and I could definitely use some extra protein. Hello, everyone. Star here, and thank you for listening to this video, audio kind of thing. So, Orc Lumberjack Part 2, and I just have to say for a second, I have to make the joke. She knows how to handle some wood. Now that that's out of my system, okay, I can actually talk. So, so, I love orcs. I've always loved orcs. Let's do a little story time, little backstory about me. In middle school, I would stay at the computer lab after school and just kind of hang out and play computer games. And my favorite game at the time was Warcraft 2. And I loved the orcs because they had dragons and they had sea turtles, and it was really goddamn cool. So I played the orcs, and they had death knights, and they just, all this really cool stuff. And I would play it just for hours, hour or two, once, twice a week, and it was a blast. And then fast forward to after high school, and I moved out, and I joined the army, and I started playing World of Warcraft. And admittedly, I'm a huge fan of Night Elves, so I started with a Night Elf, but then I met my best friend, Xena, and she kind of sort of bullied me into switching to Horde, so I did. But honestly, it's fine because I had an Orc Death Knight and had a lot of fun. I don't know. Something about Orc just feels strong, and it's fun to feel strong. And, Death Knights are, death magic and all kinds of stuff like that. And if you've never played WoW, it's okay, you don't have to. If you've never played Warcraft 2, that's okay, you don't have to. Just an unholy paladin, right? An evil paladin. Kind of. And it's less healy and resurrecty and more death and decay. In fact, that's one of their fucking skills. Literally, it's called death and decay. And I remember tearing people's walls down with that. It was so deadly. I loved it. I'm getting off on a tangent, though. Let's get back to our orc lumberjack. I love orcs. And it feels very fitting because at the very beginning of Warcraft 2, there are two things you've got to do. You've got to send some peasants out to go get gold in the mine, and you've got to send them out to go get wood from the trees. You've got to have a lumberjack. So it just kind of feels like, hey, in a way, I'm just one of the characters. But instead of being in the orc side of things, I'm now on the alliance side, apparently, which don't tell Xena because she might get me for that one. She does not approve of the alliance. But that's kind of what this is. An orc in the alliance. Not unheard of, but definitely unusual and often unaccepted. But as much as I want to have this, like, simple, hey, everything's happy and great, and from a storytelling perspective, you gotta throw the curveballs. You gotta switch stuff up. Excuse me. I'm burping in the background. I'll cut that. Again. From a storytelling perspective, it gets a little too samey, so you gotta throw things out. You gotta cycle into new stuff. So we're going on an adventure. And as of right now, as I'm sitting and recording, I have no idea what that adventure is. All I know is we're going somewhere and doing something. We're gonna figure that out. Because I guess that's kind of a spoiler. Spoiler alert. We're not gonna find the orcs in the city. They're not here. We're gonna have to go somewhere and do something. What that is, I don't even know yet. So, we'll see. I'll brainstorm it and figure out, a couple ideas, see what I like. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for everything. It's really fun to be recording sequels to Fan Friday audios. Because, yeah, it's still, a lot of it's improv, and I'm just kind of going with whatever comes to me at the moment. But it's still based on the idea we brainstormed together. And to me, that makes it even better than my first Orc series. Because that was just me doing whatever. This at least has that collaborative aspect to it. It's more of a community kind of thing. And I've said that a couple times about Fan Friday, and I love it for exactly that reason. And I'm going to just keep making it a thing because honestly, it should be, and I love the alliteration of it. Fan Friday. Oh, it's so good. So, long ramble. I feel like this outro is like 6, 7, 8 minutes now. Sorry about that. Long outro aside, thank you so much. Like, for real. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you in the next one. Bye for now. Mwah.